Devil busy, got me fighting for my life like MMA. Know that, pocket watching, know that. Put the beat on, I snap in the flashing black like Kodak. OD get a toe tag. DOA, no DEA, if Indy ain't your toe track.
Hey, thank y'all so much for joining us back in the Build by Belief podcast. My name is Dylan.
Cortland.
Christian.
And today we're going to be discussing the power of a routine. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand the mic to Christian.
I wanted to bring up today's topic because I realized the power in controlling your day is in your routine. I realized the power of a routine never starts the day of or the morning of, but starts the night of. For me personally, I've learned laying out your stuff, having things ready for you to just grab and go, makes it a whole lot easier for you just to be ready. And eliminates that excuse of you needing to get things ready and running out of time. Do y'all care to elaborate on that?
Yeah. So I won't get into too much of the specifics of what I do every morning, but one thing that really helps me out is I'll lay out all my stuff, like my work clothes. I'll make sure I have this bad boy filled up before I go to work. I have everything set out. That way I don't have to worry about it. I can go in and get my stuff done. Stuff I do, like just walk outside, devotion, meditation, etc., and so on and so forth. But I don't have to scramble for my clothes after I do my morning routine and, kind of be all filtered like, oh, crap, where's my clothes at? Okay, I need to get my clothes. And now, your mind's all scattered, Yeah. I know where everything's at. I can walk collectively and gather all my things and change to my work clothes and go straight to work. And, of course, have my morning worship because you got to get that in right. And you're feeling good. You're going into the workplace or wherever you're going to go with a clear head. You know what you have to do. You're in a smooth and calm, collected mood, and you can take on whatever the day throws at you. As opposed to just, getting up and you go straight to the shower, you get ready, but you didn't do anything prior to that. And you're scrambling for your clothes. Ah, shoot, running low on time. Where are my clothes at? And you're going to work all cluttered and just, your mind's just everywhere. And your boss is like, okay, how you doing today? I'm doing good. I'm just still trying to wake up. You know what I mean? And you the difference is clear as day. So again, I'm not going to get too much into my morning routine, but I have a routine I follow by every morning to make sure I go into work, electrified. I'm up. I'm ready. Nobody can steal anything from me because I already invested in my day, right? But then I see other people, again, not to toot my own horn, and I can tell as clear as day. I've even asked them before too. They don't have a morning routine. And they're still trying to wake up. And so they're waking up during the shift. You know what I mean? And you don't want to do that.
What are valuable things you do in the morning that you would give someone to do, to implement?
So the three most important things I would say for anybody who's going to wake up. First things first, make your bed. Secondly, get outside. Whether you just stare outside, literally just stare at the clouds for a good 5 or 10 minutes or take a walk. I take a walk, just a little short and walk around my neighborhood. And thirdly, is to fill your head with something that can help you. Mine is a scripture. I'll read a scripture or a devotional of some sort, but I'll put something that's worth putting into my brain to start off the day. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
What about you, Cortland?
Yeah. Really, well, I think you guys did a great job of covering all of that, so I don't want to kick a dead horse, but really the importance of this is leading yourself and stacking up small wins for the day, just because that builds, your own trust for yourself. Like, hey, I can do this little stuff, I can do big stuff, right? Because then, if you start finding yourself losing throughout the day, on things, well, I don't know what the standard is for you because we all have a standard, but it's like, oh, well, dude, I didn't even do the small stuff today. So it's like how you do one thing is how you're going to do everything. So start by leading yourself in the right direction. Whatever makes you feel energized and whatever clears your head, puts you in the right headspace, then do those things early before you go and do whatever. Have a set routine, like a set schedule, so that way you're not so unpredictable to yourself. That's why, if you're just, what I've done is I used to do this all the time. I would go to bed sometimes at 12 at midnight, 10 at night, 5 o'clock in the morning. And it was all over the place. I didn't have a set schedule, and then I just felt unrested, just terrible. And because I wasn't really pouring anything into my mind that was good for me, well, let me just give this world this crappy version of Cortland. So so there's a lot of benefit in leading yourself and, doing your routine, whatever that looks like for you. I'm sure you have your own routine. And so maybe, maybe that looks like you going to bed earlier, right? But the challenge is not to be perfect. It's just to be better consistently. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I like that. Better consistency is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I'd almost say it's the most selfless thing you can do. Because again, like you just said a second ago, how can I give the best version of myself if I haven't poured into myself already? When you choose to wake up or you choose to do those things that set your day up for success, you can then have an overflow to know, okay, I already won over myself. Anything after this is just a blessing. And when you receive blessings, you get to bless other people. That's how I've seen it and what I've experienced. Definitely having one of those crazier morning routines. Mine consists of a 4 a.m. routine. I'm not saying someone has to do that straight off the bat for you to do crazy stuff. But just like what Dylan said, like, since I wake up so much earlier and I have to be work till 9, I'm already energized. I'm at work fired up while everyone else is still waking up. However, I do go to sleep earlier. So me going to sleep earlier, again, that comes with me missing out with a lot of things. But if y'all care to elaborate on that, the reason I miss out on night stuff is because usually nothing good comes about being up past a certain time. So if y'all care to elaborate on that and why going to sleep earlier and not staying out later. Probably you, Cortland, because you said you used to be up at 5. You said you used to be up at 5. So any advice on that and why you chose to step up?
Oh, yeah. Back then, I was doing debaucherous stuff. I'm getting like Facebook throwback photos, and I'm like, what an idiot. Don't miss that version of Cortland whatsoever. Being more intentional with your time. I mean, just because because in the line of work that I'm in, or rather a lot of us, the lines of work that we're in, we're dealing with people, and you never know what they're going to throw at you. Because you may get a nasty interaction, and if you're already feeling like crap, if you're feeling lethargic mentally and physically, how well do you think you're going to handle that? Now look back at all the times that you've handled situations like that well, or serious situations well, when you were locked in. So just ask yourself, like, well, I mean, if you had a choice, which you do, I mean, which pill do you want to take? So I know, because in my line of work, since I deal with people, building relationships, I'm in business development rep work. I'm really just a friendship builder, but I'm dealing with all kinds of people, and I have to be very sharp because I never know if someone's letting me in on a problem that they have, and I have to be able to ask the right questions. So it's important for me to stay locked in. If I've just spent all this time doom scrolling, giving myself fake hits of dopamine, I'm just like, it's like, oh my gosh, it's just terrible. So, so for some of you, it could just be that you're staying up too late. So you need to make a commitment to yourself, just going to bed earlier. Was like, until I do this, I can't go to sleep. It's almost like another form of drugs. And so, I mean, it could just be things that are bad habits for you, or maybe you can't sleep because of, I don't know, maybe you need to get high, or maybe you need to do something, but then you wake up the next day, it's like, or maybe you're just so dependent upon that, and you're like, oh, I can't do better without it. Don't know why I'm going down this route, so maybe it's for somebody. But just cut stuff out of your life where you're like, oh, so I mean, are you dependent upon something here? Because if you are, and it was taken away from you, how would you feel if it was? Like, do you feel dependent on that? But you won't have that conversation with yourself unless you don't think there's anything wrong. So,
I'd actually like to elaborate on that point. Having a routine, because what does that do for you, essentially, right? It also fills out the time slots in a productive way. And so the time you spend, like Christian, going to sleep early, we've all heard the saying from our grandmothers, right? Oh, nothing good happens past 12 a.m. Well, you know what? Grandmother's right.
no.
Nothing good does happen past 12 a.m. I mean, what are the businesses that are open past 12 a.m.?
Whataburger.
It's either 24-hour restaurants or or usually nightclubs, right? Nightclubs,
Yeah.
you know, strip clubs. I mean, you name it. All the places you should stay away from are open, and that's where most of the people who go out are going to be found at. You know, and what does that tell you about that crowd of people that are out at that hour, right? They're up to no good, or they're at somebody's house party, you know, getting wasted, right? Just little things like that. And so you get the picture. Nothing. The people who are up at 12 a.m. past that hour, they're typically up to no good. Nothing that's productive. You know, just the way I see it. So you're really missing nothing. You're not missing anything when you go to sleep early. In fact, you're just up to give the people in the morning who are with you winning the best version of yourself, because those are the real winners, are the people who are up in the morning and are asleep at night, right? And even just routine stuff like I work out 5 days a week, and that's routine for me. You know what I mean? 5 days a week, I work out. I got the same structure as far as it goes. I got my own fitness goals when it comes to that. That's a good example of how I fill out in my time slots. Is I work out 5 days a week. I know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to be at the gym. It's non-negotiable. Another thing that I'll do is a podcast, right? Or an audiobook. I'll make sure to listen to one chapter at least of an audiobook or one podcast. And that's something I'll do every day, along with my scriptures. But you get the picture here. I'm filling my time slots with things that are going to produce good in me, things that are going to grow me, you know. And it's much better than investing that time and just, you know, doom scrolling, you know, smoking weed or gossiping with my friends about people, drinking, you know, partying. I mean, you name it. Our time is going to be filled some way. And I'm throwing a new law out there. Maybe it's already been said before, but the law of pursuit. We all pursue something, right? I call this the law of pursuit. Whether I'm going to not do anything, well, I'm still going to spend my time doing something. It could be doom scrolling. So my pursuit is scrolling, seeking temporary pleasure, or vice versa. I'm reading the scripture. I'm reading books that are growing me mentally. That's my pursuit of understanding God's ways more, or simply just growing in my character and understanding. So we all pursue something with our time. And at that point, it's just, you got to ask yourself, am I pursuing the right things or the wrong things? So,
to encourage you guys, it's not going to feel easy. It's not going to. If you're going against the grain of what you've been habitually doing for so long, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be some resistance there. Yeah. And so, but you need to ask yourself first, who do you want to be, and how can you start casting votes for that person in your behaviors? And it's just one decision at a time. Some people think that they have to just do this like intense burst of like behaviors towards who they're trying to become. Like the New Year's resolution people who go to, like, they say, oh, I want to get a gym membership, I'm going to take my health seriously. And then they're done after a week.
Yeah.
And so you need to really figure out for yourself, who do you want to be and why? If you don't have that figured out, you're not going to be very convicted about making these changes. So, again, being your best consistently.
That's right.
I learned the best version of yourself, making the choices that your old self or current self does not want to make. The concept I live by is 1% every day. One of the greatest pieces of advice I ever received was pick 3 things. Even if you want to pick one thing. 1 to 3 things, minimum, of what you can grow in. For me, it's God, mindset, and fitness. So, just like my brothers here, basically the same exact concept. Those are just small little things. Mm-hmm. But those small little things will change your world. They will. And change those around you. Because you're showing up for yourself. And for you to show up for yourself, you will naturally become the best version of yourself.
Well, thanks again to all you beautiful people who joined us, stuck around for this episode. Now, if you liked this episode, be sure to like this and subscribe to the channel if you want to know whenever we release a new episode. If you think this would help someone else, be sure to share this, share the channel with them, spread the word, because that's what we are trying to do to grow this channel. Can't grow it without you guys. So, with that being said, that wraps up episode 10.
Wow.
10, dude. 10. That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow, episode 10. And so, thanks again for joining us on the Built by Belief podcast. Y'all have a blessed week going into it. Love you guys. Take care.
Stay blessed.